Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. Today we're at a disclosed location, that's right. We're at Gospodor, kind of like Condor, but Gospodor. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's right off of I-5 here in this beautiful Pacific Northwest. Toledo, I think they call this, but this is a memorial park. But it's kind of weird deal where it's all gated in and it doesn't say, hey, this is open to the public, but there it is. There's 3 statues made by one man with his own money. So let's go ahead. It looks like this gate is open and it doesn't say any trespassing around here. So yeah, let's stick you in wide mode. I got the drone on my back, so I think I should be okay, but I don't see any trespassing signs here. So I'm just gonna lock that door up real quick. And if anybody says anything, well, I'll say, well, you need to put up some no trespassing signs. I don't know. All right, well, you can see the weather here in the Pacific Northwest is Pacific Northwest weather. That's right, this is what you usually get around here. You don't get blue skies and rainbows, that's for sure. But you do get this massive structure right off of I-5. Yeah, you can hear it. People zoom by this all the time. Now, at one time, there was a Jesus with his arms up there, but after a couple storms, Jesus blew down. But you could still see that giant windmill is still turning with the wind. So that's a sight to see. If I sit still for a second, you can see it blowing with the wind. So that thing does function as a wind vine or wind vane or whatever they call those. So the man who built these is no longer with us. He is passed to be with our Lord. But I tell you what, the remnants of something here is still here. You can see that there's no maintenance here, no upkeep. So look at these things, all big and beautiful. But what I'm talking about is, it just seems like this isn't a park. I don't think there used to be an eagle in that cage right there, believe it or not. But the eagle is like in the town of Toledo, I hear. And Jesus used to be above that world globe, but he is blown down. I don't see any sight of Jesus. Yeah, those things are big, but they got all this wood here at the base of it. I don't know what all this is about. But yeah, these things are big. I got the drone on me, so I don't see any no drone zone signs. But yeah, here you go. Wood, and more wood at the base of this thing. And it looks like right here is a door you could probably get into to crawl up to the top of that, because you can see stairs up there. And it looks like the old American flag has been through some weather, hasn't it? You can definitely see weather here at the Pacific Northwest. Okay, well, there you go. The Gospodor, kind of like Condor, Memorial Park here in Toledo, Washington State. And boy, those big rigs, they just move right along. So let's go check one of these doors. Each one of these has a door, not that one, but this one has a door and that one has a door. I'm just curious. And who is watching me? Who's watching this? Isn't there any cameras around here? Seems like the only camera around here is in my hand. Yeah, that's got to be locked, wouldn't you think? That's how tall they are. So, all right, let's step on that. Yeah, these things are closed to the public. Closed, closed, closed. Okay, well, that's a good thing. Nobody needs to be up there anyway. All right, well, let's find a place to fly this drone and get some bird's eye view, shall we? It's kind of windy and it looks like it could rain. I don't know. It's always a chance of rain around here. Lumber. Lots of lumber around here. That's how they make their bread and butter. All right, let's get the drone in the air. Well, as always, I want to thank you for coming along with me on these Gospodor Park adventures. Monument Park, that's what it's called. Gospodor Monument Park. There, and there. All right. You see it turning. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. That's right, we are flying high above Gospodor Monument Park in Toledo, Washington. That's right. This monument was made by one man, a millionaire out of Seattle. I believe his name was Dennis Gospodor, and he made these 3 monuments dedicated to the tragedies of this world. That's right, whatever way the wind blows is which. I'm sure he had a meaning to this monument, but it is yet to be deciphered because he has passed. But his name was Dennis, like I say, and he made his money in shipping, I do believe. And that middle monument used to have a Jesus Christ with his arms stretched out, but in a real big windstorm about 10 years ago, Jesus blew down. And this thing used to be all lit up at night also. This used to be a big eagle in the cage, but the eagle is in downtown Toledo now. So they took the eagle out. And the Indian reservation that was supposed to be taking care of this, well, they're supposed to keep the lights on, and they definitely dropped the ball on this beautiful monument. So what you're seeing here is a ghost town monument. That monument right there represented the Holocaust. I do believe the eagle in the cage represented the Holocaust. So he did kind of was emphasizing how the world has really gone bad. So I think he really wanted to send a message, and well, we never really understood what his message was. But he did erect these things right out of the thin air with his own money, and when he passed, well, they gave the property to the Indian tribe, which controls it today. So you can see that these things have seen better days. You can wonder if there should be a fresh coat of paint on that thing, but I think it's all just going to be left to Mother Nature nowadays. So millions of people pass this Gospodor Monument Park in Toledo, and they wonder what it was. You can see right there where Jesus was strapped on the top. But nope, he's gone now. I don't know where Jesus is, but he's alive, guaranteed. He is real. Jesus is real. But yeah, there was a bird in that cage, and it doesn't get any busier freeway than this, but they did definitely move that eagle to the downtown Toledo. So you can see the skies around this part of the neck of the woods. That's a good day. There's always a lot of rain around here, so when you get overcast like that, this is what the Pacific Northwest looks like. So you could just imagine at one time all these were lit up at night with big bright lights, but not anymore. Now it's all just a bunch of rust. And it seems like out in the field they even use the field as a storage for old wood. But yeah, could you just imagine that represented Christ on top of that globe? Maybe that's the globe of Earth. I don't know. But you can see deep inside there, I get to zoom out and go, what could that possibly be? But you can tell that he had put a lot of work in scrap metal and designed it into a nice piece of artwork. There you can see there is lights. See how the lights are all in there? So this thing was illuminated real bright at one time, but not anymore. Matter of fact, I do believe that I saw some birds nesting in the wind vane. That's right there in that wind vane, which is actual working wind vane. It will spin when the wind moves. But I didn't realize there was birds living in there until after I was done flying the drone. But you can see right there, that thing has got a old coat of paint and probably should have a new one. But like I said, there is no maintenance on this Gospodor Monument Park. It's just all by itself. So I was hoping that thing would spin on me a little bit, and it did. But you just got to watch it real slowly. Yeah, it's kind of neat to see that big weather vine spin with the wind. So it looks like there's some bullet holes maybe in that bottom part. Maybe somebody was shooting at the Gospodor Monument. I don't know. But you can see in that field right there, it is a lot of old wood, and like we're going to do something there, but it seems like the money ran out, and now there's just a whole bunch of nothing there. You can see where it's at, too. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no stores or no houses. It's just in the middle of a field. So that's what was kind of perplexing to me when I got there. I thought this was a monument park, but no, it's just in the middle of a field. So I didn't know if I was trespassing going out there. But one filmmaker once told me that if you want to make a good film, well, you're going to have to break a little rule once in a while. So I don't know if I was breaking any rules on this day, but you can see I'm right there in that field. Definitely flying low is the way to go around here, but you got to be careful or you will crash your drone. And I don't want to do that. All right, well, let's just give you a little look one more time before I end this video of that weather vane that is spinning around as we speak. So you got the weather vane, and you got the Christ on top of earth, which he's not here anymore. I don't know where Christ is, but like I said, he's alive and he is real, but he's not on top of that anymore. And then you had the eagle in the cage, which represented the Holocaust. And that was all lit up with a big beacon on top. You can see there's like a glass beacon of some kind, like a lighthouse almost. So just use your imagination and see a big eagle in there all lit up. Boy, oh boy, what a sight. Well, there you go. A little look at Gospodor Monument Park. I think you say it like Condor, but Gospodor in Toledo, Washington. All right. Well, as always, I'd like to thank you again for coming along with me on these Gospodor Monument Park adventures. That's right. I hope I'm not trespassing, but don't tell anybody if I am. Like I said, if you want to make a good movie, sometimes you gotta go where you're not supposed to. But that's the good thing about these drones. You can't really stop them, can you? All right, that's how tall that monument is from the ground looking up. And it is tall. All right, enough out of me, enough out of you. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these Gospodor Park adventures in Toledo, Northwest Washington. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Postscript. Well, there you go. We just got the drone in the air. Did a little small video of these awesome man-made by one man Gospodor. And believe it or not, I got this postscript on. I don't think we'll see any, but I did hear some birds up in there. So I hope I didn't bother the birds with the drone. I didn't see any. But do you see any birds up there? I don't know. I heard them. All right, well, we did it. That's right, we went to Gospodor. We had the eagle in the cage, the Jesus on the mount. Well, I don't know where he's at now. He's still here somewhere. Jesus is real. Don't you forget that. And we got the weather vine. All three of them by one man. All right, well, let's grab this backpack and get my hand out of the way. Make sure you got one last look at that beautiful monument. So like I said, it says Monument Park on Google Earth or on your maps. But if you look around, it definitely does not look like any type of park. So is this private property? I don't think so. I mean, yes it is. But is it a park? Well, yes it is. So is it public property? Well, no it's not. So I don't know what's going on here. It is beautiful. And like I said, if you want sunshine and rainbows, well, you better stay in California because this is good weather here in the Pacific Northwest. If you don't have your windshield wipers on and you're outside working or flying a drone or going to Mount St. Helens, this backpack did not want to stay on. It wanted to stay here. It wanted to keep flying. All right. Well, there you go. You see it. Gospodor. Kind of like Condor. Everything's got a weird name up here in the Pacific Northwest. Native names. Okay, Gospodor. Yeah, what a quiet What a sight to see. And it's not quiet, that's for sure. All right, there's the parking lot at Gospodor. I guess I'll close the gate even though it was open when I got here. All right, you know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody. Mahalo.